You know that feeling, right? You land on a website, it looks absolutely perfect. The logo is sharp, the deals are incredible, but something in the back of your mind just feels a little off. Well, you are definitely not alone. We're about to pull back the curtain on the world of ghost websites. These are incredibly sophisticated online scams, and they are designed to look flawless. Okay, let's just pause on this for a second, because this one sentence, it's the key to everything. The days of spotting a scam because of a few typos or some clunky design, those days are long gone. The real clues, the ones that scammers just can't fake, are buried way deeper. So, think of this as a kind of forensic investigation. We're going to put on our digital detective hats and learn how to find the hidden structural flaws that every single fake website has, no matter how perfect it looks on the outside. And they are masters at this, seriously. Scammers can copy the look and feel of a brand you trust with scary accuracy. They can spin up thousands of glowing, totally fake reviews. So yeah, just a quick glance isn't going to cut it anymore. This brings us to the big idea for today, the real aha moment. It's a simple but really powerful way to analyze any website you visit. Just think of it like this. We're going to learn to look past the skin to see the skeleton underneath. What's so great about this slide is how clearly it separates the fluff from the facts. The skin layer, that's everything you see. The logos, the slick layout, all those 5-star reviews. That's what scammers have perfected. But the skeleton layer, well, that's where the truth is. It's the boring stuff, like domain history, the server setup, its network footprint. That is what we're going to learn how to investigate. That is exactly the right question to be asking. We've got the theory down, so let's get our hands dirty. How do you actually pull back that curtain and start looking at these deeper structural clues? Okay, let's start digging. The first principle is super simple. Real systems have a history. They've existed over time. Fake systems, on the other hand, they seem to exist only in this exact moment. They just appear out of thin air. And we have a name for this. It's called the temporal footprint. It's basically the collection of digital breadcrumbs that prove a site is legit because, well, it has a past. A ghost website, by its very definition, has no real history. So, how do we find this footprint? Or, more importantly, the lack of one? You look for these specific red flags. First, just check the calendar. Was the domain name registered like last Tuesday? A quick whois search tells you that. Next, you go looking for evidence. Are there any old snapshots of the site on the Internet Archive's Wayback Machine? Has anyone, anywhere, on a news site, a blog, a forum, ever mentioned it before? If a site has zero digital past, no archives, no history, nothing, that is a massive warning sign. And this isn't just a hunch, it's a statistical reality. A website that just appears overnight, fully formed, but has absolutely no digital history, it's almost certainly a trap. It's a fundamental test that most of these ghost websites fail, and they fail hard. Okay, next up in our investigation, it's not just about time. We need to look at how the site is actually built. You see, real, legitimate platforms, they grow in layers over years. Fake ones are thrown together all at once. And trust me, it shows. This slide here really nails the difference. A real site is usually made of many different pieces. It might have a blog, a support section, an API for developers, and often those live on different subdomains, like api.brand.com. A fake site, it's usually just one big hollow box. Everything runs from a single application. You should also keep an eye out for little cracks in the facade, like mixing up currencies on different pages or spelling their own brand name wrong. It's all a sign of a rushed, fake job.
Okay, this next test is one of my absolute favorites because it's so simple and boy, is it revealing. We're going to see what happens when we intentionally break a tiny piece of the website.
Think about a major, legitimate website you use all the time. If some script fails to load, the site might look a little wonky. Maybe an image gallery doesn't work right, but the main text, the basic navigation, it's usually still there. It degrades, sure, but it doesn't just vanish. A ghost website, though, is a completely different story. It's often so flimsy that it completely depends on JavaScript to even exist. If you go into your browser settings and turn off scripts, it's super easy. And the entire website becomes a blank white page, well, you have your answer. It's a house of cards. The whole thing just collapses. So because these fake sites have no real history and no strong structure, they have to rely on psychological tricks to rush you. They're trying to bypass your critical thinking with all these high-pressure tactics. You'll see those fake countdown timers yelling, "Offer ends in 2 minutes," or those phony stock alerts claiming only 3 left. All of it is designed to create a sense of panic, so you don't have time to stop and actually investigate the site's skeleton. So we've gathered all this evidence. How do we pull it all together into one simple, final test you can use every single day? It's a really powerful mental model that I think you're going to find incredibly helpful. And here it is. A real website is a living, growing organism. A fake website is a staged photograph. Just let that sink in for a minute. It's a simple metaphor, but it captures the difference perfectly. Think about it. An organism has a history, it has some messy parts, it changes and evolves over time, and it has depth. A photograph, on the other hand, is perfect in one single moment. It's static, it's shallow, and it has no past and no future. So when you're on a new website, just ask yourself, does this feel like a living, breathing ecosystem or a perfect, flat image? And that is the ultimate goal here. This is not about trying to memorize a 50-point checklist. It's about training your intuition, your ability to recognize patterns. It's about developing an instinct for what feels real and what feels staged. So, the huge takeaway here is this. You're now equipped to operate on a whole different level. You can look past the beautiful, deceptive skin and see the system, or the complete lack of one, underneath. So the next time you land on a new website, what are you going to see? The surface or the skeleton?